All right. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, Ilsa, for those. We will be moving on to our next prize. As we move forward in time to our next prize, the possibilities for topics open up. The two remaining prizes require students to select their own topics. The McKinney Prize in Oratory dates to 1885. This prize was established by Hamilton College trustee Charles McKinney. Early competitors spoke in the village of Clinton, but the competition was moved to the chapel in 1923, and we continue here today. All current Hamilton students are eligible to compete for this prize with a persuasive speech, and the competition typically happens within each class year. This year, we have combined our finalists from the junior and senior classes, as explained before by Amy. Thank you. So, our first speaker for this prize is Christina Spanier. Her speech is titled, "Everyone Has Inherent Value."
What if I told you that simply believing in someone could make them better? A Harvard study found that teachers' expectations alone can raise student IQ scores by 25 points. This means that the way we treat people and what we expect of them matters. In fact, it matters so much that it can shape their success. What happens if we extend this same belief to everyone we meet? What if everyone in our environment believes great things of us? What is the outcome there? Let's paint a brief picture. This year, as many of you know, we received a new college president, President Tepper. He's a man who's walked the halls and studied in Harvard, UNC, and Princeton. He's pioneered groundbreaking work on cultural policy and art and education. He's extremely deserving of our respect. Now, I want you to imagine that you have the opportunity to have dinner with President Tepper, where you will meet him for the very first time. I want you to picture what these first 30 seconds will look like when you meet him. I'm assuming you all are very classy, so you're going to be giving him a kind smile, you're going to have good posture, and put out your hand to shake his hand. You're going to be very kind and engaging. Now picture this. It's mid-July, you're at the DMV. It's time to renew your license. You've been waiting 2 hours, the baby next to you has not stopped crying, and the fluorescent lights are beaming down. Finally, your name is called, so you drudge up to the counter, where you meet Linda, who will be helping you today. What do these first 30 seconds look like? And how are they different? If you're anything like me, you probably want to make this interaction as quick as possible. There probably aren't many warm smiles exchanged. Now, why are these interactions different? What if I told you that Linda isn't just a DMV worker? What if I told you Linda is a single mother of 3, and on the weekends she coaches club soccer? To her kids and to her team, Linda is their whole world. Now she's a person with a story and dream and passions, just like President Tepper, just like you and me. So why do we change the way that we act? Why do we reserve our best energy, our most impressive gestures, and our highest respect for those people who we deem important? Here we arrive at my argument. Everyone has inherent value, whether or not you know something about them. And the respect that we give shapes outcomes for them and you. Now, this idea of inherent value has been seen throughout history. It's been seen especially in the inventions of some of our favorite products. Now, today, I'm going to talk about the Post-it note, for example, which I have with me today. So the Post-it note was invented by a 3M scientist named Spencer Silver. And at the time, he was trying to invent a permanent adhesive, something that would stick and stay. Now, when he came up with this flimsy piece of paper, he immediately put it in the junk pile. He thought that he had failed. He did not see any immediate commercial value in what I'm holding today. A few days later, his coworker and co-scientist walked in. His name was Art Fry. At the time, Art had been struggling with his bookmarks falling out of his book. And when he saw this piece of paper that could be picked up and placed back down without leaving a mark, he had an idea. What if we have something here? Let's call it the Post-it note. And now we have this piece of paper in every office on this campus, and probably every office in our nation. But here's the catch. The Post-it note did not change between Spencer Silver and Art Fry. It stayed on the table. What did change was the environment to which it was used and the perspective to which it was seen. Only then was its immense value realized. Much like Linda when she's with her soccer team, her value was hidden at first. Now, if you're still unsure, stay with me. Let's go back to the science that we touched on at the beginning of this speech. So there was a study conducted in 1968 by Rosenthal and Jacobson. And what they did is they told a group of teachers that a specific group of students in their classroom were gifted at math. But these students were just chosen at random. Something interesting happened 2 weeks later when the math results came back in from their exams. It was those students who performed better. And it wasn't because they were necessarily smarter. What happened was the teachers, whether or not they knew it, treated these students differently. They expected bigger, grander things of them. And as a result, these students rose to the expectation and they performed well. Now, what this came to be known as was the Pygmalion effect. And what it means is that people rise to the expectations that we set for them. It is a groundbreaking concept, and it can change lives. But here's the problem. Sometimes we're not in environments where people expect great things from us. Sometimes the people around us don't see our value. Say, for example, your boss always gives your coworker the cool work, and it's her that gets asked to go to the meaningful meetings, but you that has to do the tedious work. What if, for example, you're on a sports team, and your coach plays your teammates instead of you, and it's not your turn yet? What do you do? Well, first of all, it's incredibly important that you find yourself in these Post-it note environments. But how do you find them? I argue the only way to find respect is to give it, and to be fearlessly consistent in doing so. You have to treat the CEO like the janitor. You have to treat the DMV worker like the professor. In this way, you're casting a wide net of respect, increasing your chances of receiving some in return. When you do this, everything will change. From there, one person at a time, one interaction at a time, you're going to follow the people who expect a lot from you. You're going to follow the people who see you for who you are and see your value, because it will become very, very clear. Many of us have been lucky enough to find these environments here on the Hill. But for all of us, we're going to have to do this after graduation, and we're going to have to do it again and again and again. This will be a lifelong journey, but you need to be in these environments where you can be the Post-it note. Because everyone has inherent value, and the respect that you give shapes outcomes for them and you. Thank you.